Hi Leo, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the 1st to the 7th of July. Let's get right into things. Let's get right in. I'm going to start with a Celtic cross spread, okay? Knight of Coins wanted to pop out, okay? Knight of Coins, I don't know, Leo, are you involved with somebody where you feel like something's missing in the relationship? This is also indicative of you investing your time wisely in something, not really wanting to waste your time with somebody who is really not capable of capturing your heart in the long term. If it has nothing to do with relationship, this is about increasing prosperity and financial growth, having to do with a good investment. Really nice energy actually coming into you if you're resonating with it like that. So I always like to pay attention to those little pop outs. Why not? But let's get into things. So we have this fixed T-square, and you guys know you are a fixed sign, Leo. So honestly, because Mars and Venus are going to be in you this week in your first house, the first house of self. So especially Leo risings at around 10 to 15 degrees, you guys are going to be feeling this most profoundly. Now, I have to tell you, I kind of feel this is going to be a very big week for Leos. I just kind of think that. Why? We have Saturn, which is all about the old, restriction, delay, outdated thinking, all of that in your 7th house of contractual partnership. So that could have to do with marriage, a business partnership, anyone that you have a shared soul contract with, right? And it's opposite, it's in tension with the 3rd. It's going to be, right, it's going to be creating this T-square with Mars in Leo in your 1st house. And then on the 7th, it's going to be Venus in you in Leo. 2 T-squares back to back you're going to be dealing with. So the T-square is going to be between Saturn and Aquarius in your 7th, Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house of career, public reputation, standing in the world. And then you're going to have the Mars in Leo and then Venus in Leo in your 1st house of self. So there's going to be this tension and this recognition that you have to change the way you're thinking about something having to do with relationship. And the new is going to come in, this Mars energy in Leo in your house of self, the way you're seeing relationship, the way you're seeing business situations, the way you're seeing so much of life, Leo, is going to be changing right now. There is this absolute shift. Keep in mind that at the end of the week on the 7th, when Venus is going to be creating this T-square, Venus is all about how we view life, right? It has to do with self-esteem, how good we feel about things. It's the money that we make. It's the love that we experience, right? That's life. And it's in tension with Saturn. So there can be this feeling of restriction and, I just want to go and do, I want to live, I want to be A, B, and C, right? Having to do with that relationship, that job, whatever it is. And you're going to be experiencing this tension, but it's this kind of tension that's very necessary in order for you to push through to the change. Now, where is the breaking free and get me out of here? Your Uranus energy in Taurus is in that 10th house of career. So, and it's also your public reputation, your standing in the world. So for a lot of you guys, because the 7th house has to do with marriage, the 10th house has to do with the institution of marriage as well. And then we have all of this new energy coming in, this Mars and Leo, this Venus and Leo energy in your 1st house of self. There's going to be so much change going on for you, Leo, right now, but this is the thing as well. Don't be surprised if you end up feeling very nostalgic during this energy, because that's what happens with Mars and Leo. There ends up being this, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I feel this sense of loyalty. I feel this, right? And that's you guys. I feel this sense of, I don't know if I can do that very thing, right? So a lot of you are going to be feeling this, but this is the thing. Because of the houses that it's hitting, and because this is a square in the fixed signs, and 2 of these energies are happening in your house, in your home, the Leo energy, there's no question there's going to be big change for you. It's going to be tense. There's angers are going to be flaring, just saying. They are. Not all bad though. Not all bad. But I want to say this, because I know a lot of you are going through it. Chiron is creating a very harmonious trine with all of this. So while what you're going through right now might seem challenging with that marriage, that relationship, that family situation, that work situation, whatever it is, you have to understand that on the other side of it, Chiron is going to bring healing. There's just going to be a lot of healing. But right now, the Saturn-Uranus square shows tension between the changes that need to happen and the obstacles and the roadblocks and the resistance to that change, right? So it can bring hidden truths to light, you know, kind of let the light in and clear away the cobwebs from your window so that you can really see what it is that's going on. And Saturn always says you have to do whatever that squared planet represents. So in this case, you have to wake up and face the truth and address the breakdown and break away from some sort of bad situation or fix what's not working. If you're acting in a way that's creating a lot of agitation to a situation or anything like that, if you can fix it, fix it. If you can't fix it, Leo, then walk away. But you have to be honest with yourself about how powerful are you to actually fix a situation, right? Now, this is something that I really am telling everybody, but I've been saying it at the end of videos, and how silly is that because I keep forgetting. I want you guys to understand the power of changebacks right now. Those of you that don't know what a changeback is, this is what a lot of people resort to when they're acting poorly towards us. Somebody who can be verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, even physically abusive, or somebody who just feels very entitled to treat us a certain way. You have to make it clear that you're not going to put up with their shit anymore, Leo. And this is where you need to be ready for some change back maneuvers, okay? Because somebody that you're dealing with is not going to be okay with the fact that you are not letting them get away with things anymore. They liked you better when you were less certain of your boundaries, when you allowed them to get away with things. And if you don't play anymore, what happens? They have to adapt to your new truth to continue in that relationship, in that business situation, in that family situation. If they feel threatened by it, they're going to make you the bad guy. And then they're going to react out of hatefulness and revenge and just bitterness. And this is what a lot of energies are going to be experiencing right now. And it's that kind of thing where you're rejecting me? Screw you. I was never into you anyway. I never loved you anyway. You were never a good sibling to me. You were never a good daughter. You were never a good son. You were never a good fill in the blank, right? And the thing is this, they're doing that to be spiteful. And the challenge of the change here requires us to anticipate that resistance and to make sure we're managing our own anxiety and feelings of defensiveness so that we could be our best self when that other person acts out of line or acts like a callous idiot towards us. All right, because we're not going to be in the space of we're not going to be able to take no for an answer. That's the thing. When we have Mars and Uranus squaring, it's going to push all our buttons. But the thing is, change is right around the corner. So we need to act despite the blockages, despite the difficulties. Where there's restriction, that's what we have to push towards. Okay, and that's the energy that this week, the most profound week of this year, is going to be hitting us, okay? Now, again, for you, Leo, you have that Saturn energy in your 7th. You have the get me out of here once and for all energy in that 10th house. Some of you are going to want to be breaking away from family members, breaking out of that marriage, breaking away from that career path, breaking away from something. And then we have the new coming in, Mars and Leo, Venus and Leo in that first house of self. So it's really about focusing on you, Leo, and making sure that your needs are met at the end of the day. But if there's a situation that you're involved in that's unfair to somebody else, the thing is this, it's not going to go well for you if you don't make the right decisions and the right choices right now, because fairness really is the name of the game right now. Secrets are going to be coming out, shady behavior is going to be coming out, so just understand that going in, all right? So it's kind of all I want to say about that. So we have this King of Coins energy, and now this first read is going to be for, could be relationship, family situation, work situation, money situation, anything like that. So in the recent past, we have the King of Coins. So the King of Coins, this is a very generous, hardworking energy, but this is somebody who doesn't want to share themselves or share their money, share their valuables, whatever it is, okay? This is somebody who says, no, I'm very generous, I show up, I do what I have to do, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, there could be some greed involved with this. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to do with money. It could actually also do with Maybe somebody was just not giving themselves enough in the relationship, not giving themselves up enough in the friendship, where you felt like you were doing a lot of the work, right? And Leos are very sensitive to that, because Leos make very, very good friends. They really do. Leo, you guys rule the 5th house of fun. You guys also rule the 5th house of falling in love, love affairs, and romance, right? So you also rule children, you rule hobbies, entrepreneurial efforts. There are many things that you guys rule. But you love to be friends with your partners. You love to be friends with many people, right? You are one of the friendship signs. There aren't that many, like you and Libra. You guys have a lot of friends. Gemini also has a lot of friends. So the energy here, though, indicates, though, that you're dealing with somebody who you want to sort of be there the best that you can. But now at the end of the day, you might be feeling like, look, I want to be your friend, but I'm not willing to give you X, Y, and Z. I'm not willing to share more than I'm willing to give. Having to do with money, or having to do with changing in any kind of way. Now, this could be you towards somebody else, or somebody else towards you. Most of you understand that the energies could always be vice versa. But that energy is at play coming into this week, where there's this idea of somebody claiming, I'm here for you 100%, except not in that way. I'm not willing to be more giving, right, in a particular way. So that's something that you may be dealing with. Now, as far as you, right, representing you right now, you are the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is a Taurus energy, and this really does have to do with a connection. It has to do with tradition. It has to do with commitment, expectations, conformity, sticking to the rule, sticking to the law, sticking to, how something is indicated specifically. So having to do with relationships, this is one of the marriage cards. This could have to do with committed partnerships, celebrating the sacred in your relationship for sure. But what's expected in that relationship? How is somebody needing to conform? Do you need to conform in a particular way? Are you uncomfortable with that? Are you recognizing that you're dealing with an energy that is not able to give you what it is that you need, and you're having a hard time conforming to something? There are many ways that this can end up manifesting. If this has to do with career or money, this has to do with progression forward in either work, your decision about work, or just the general direction that you're going in. Now, you could be dealing with somebody who's very motivated, who's very inspirational. A lot of times the Hierophant does come up as a lawyer or some sort of mediator, something like that. If you're in that space, this could also be maybe a marriage counselor, a relationship counselor, a therapist, anybody like that. For others of you, just trying to give all the different, because different interpretations that are coming to me right now, I feel like for some of you, because it's a general reading, I feel like for some of you, this can be a possible expansion of property, or inviting people over who you share a similar belief system with, where you're wanting to, right, because you're thinking about belief system, right? Not only religion, though, but just your general belief system. So some of you may be in a space of sharing some time with people who are like-minded like you. So these are all the different things that can be manifested right now. So now some of you may be in this space because it's, it's following the King of Coins, where you're sort of sticking to the letter on something, right? Where if there's some sort of situation going on, you're like, well, the contract says that, or this is what's allowed, or this is what's right, and not allowing any sort of I just feel like there's not a lot of room for negotiation involved here right now. So this is just something that I'm throwing out there. And you want to be a little careful of that, because we have that Saturn in the 7th house of contracts. And it does seem like that's where some dusty cobwebs need to be wiped away, where there might be, and again, the 7th house has to do with that's the house of contractual relationships. So if it's not a marriage partner, it could also be a business partner, or anybody that you are engaged in with any sort of contract. So, but you want to be careful, because with Saturn, Saturn is going to be pushing you to see that there needs to be a different approach, and not the old. The old needs to leave, and we need new, right? The new has to come in again. And for you guys, this is that Uranus energy, the Mars energy is bringing in the new, having to do with that first house of self for you. So there needs to be some reassessing of how things are being handled. Now, what's challenging you right now is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is you're having a very hard time right now staying very, very logical and outwardly calm. You're having a hard time with that. You're feeling very emotional about something, right? And it's this energy where you do want to be careful of that, because it can come off as almost like a violent outburst. Cruel can even come out almost as like a cruel kind of thing. Now, if that's not you, Leo, you might be dealing with that from somebody else, and that's creating a current challenge for you. Somebody else's outburst, where you're saying like somebody may not be responding very well to a contract, to an agreement, to something that's going on in a marriage, to something that's going on in a relationship, right? And it being quite problematic, right? So we have the basis of the situation here is the Two of Cups, and I hope so, because this is a very good conversation. This is mutually supportive. This is for those of you who are in a space where you're single, okay? So let's just say maybe your King of Coins energy is your partner is just really somebody who doesn't like to be, they have to loosen their purse strings a little bit, or they have to be a little more open to changing, right? We have you're in this space where you're focusing on the marriage, but you're having a really hard time staying calm and not in your emotional space when it comes to the things that need addressing and changing in the relationship. And this Two of Cups energy can indicate a really good, positive proposal offered, like a positive solution to something, right? So if things are difficult in relationship, if things are difficult within a friendship or a family situation, this does tell me a harmony coming back, right? There being this nurturing of a relationship in a more positive way. It's a very mutually supportive energy. It's a Venus in Cancer, right? So right now, that's the basis of the situation. What I feel like, Leo, for you is that's very much what you want. You want to just sit down and have a calm conversation about what's necessary and what's needed, right? The present situation right now, where are you at right now? 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is family contentment, understanding the benefits of security. This is a really good energy for working through family things, partnership things. Anything that you really want to work hard on is finally going to come together, having to do with positive communication, business, family, romance, anything like that. So this is the thing. Even though it's going to feel very uncomfortable for you, the benefits are going to outweigh any discomfort that you're feeling right now. And that's a tough house to have Saturn sitting in, right? But it's going to just require you looking at things differently. It just is, right? Now, right now we have, let's talk about the near future first. Let's talk about the King of Wands. Okay. Stepping into your power. But look, this is the thing. Nothing has to be perfect. You know, you want to express your ideas. You want to express what it is that you feel, what you want. You feel very passionately about something and you want to express it. Don't allow the idea of something needing to be perfect to get in your way. Don't feel like you need to be more perfect. Don't feel like somebody else needs to be more perfect or a situation needs to be perfect. There's really no such thing. There's really no such thing, right? But this is an astrology. This is a Cancer and Leo energy. So Cancer is all about feeling secure and grounded and safe. And Leo, what are you guys about? You guys are about everything that I indicated before, but you guys are about love. You're ruled by the sun. It's about focus. It's about happiness. It's about joy. Right? But you want to feel happiness, you want to feel security, you want to feel, all of that. But at the same time, there might be something that you might be feeling very vulnerable about, or at least trepidatious about. Like you're not sure, is this the right thing? I'm not sure how I feel about this. That relationship situation, that family situation, that work situation, right? But look at you with the suggested approach. Your ruler, the sun. This is beautiful. Now, depending on how you're resonating with this, if this has to do with a relationship, this does indicate growing a beautiful connection. You guys might even be planning some sort of vacation to go away. Now, the sun does rule the 5th house. It does rule you. You are the 5th house. So for a lot of you, this can be a huge focus on falling in love, love affairs, and romance. Can be a lot of that, just saying. For many of you. For others of you, it's figuring out a different way to connect with a partner. If this doesn't have anything to do with relationship, this can indicate success, or at least a position through which you can make more money, right? You getting some sort of acknowledgement, you being acknowledged in some way. Also, this does indicate good health, right? Especially if you or somebody close to you has been struggling with your health right now. But you're going to have everything that you need to create what it is that you want, as long as it's good for you, Leo. As long as it's good for you. So even if your intentions are really good in this energy and you're going after that thing, that relationship, that job, that something, going after something that at the end of the day, you know in your gut, this is not the best thing for you long term, chances are all of that will be exposed and it will not go in your favor to protect you. Okay, so now we have the energy external to you. Somebody external, this could be an external energy surrounding you or an external person. We have the Six of Swords, which is about moving on. This can manifest mentally rather than physically right now, depending on the situation you're in, but it's about detachment nonetheless, right? And there needing to be some time away, time apart from a situation, from a relationship, or at least from a situation, to allow some space to do some internal work, to do some healing, to gain a different perspective regarding something, okay? So you're just moving away for perspective and moving away from anything that's toxic, right? So you may be finding that you're in this situation where there's a lot of toxicity and somebody is just like, nope, there needs to be this space there, okay? Now, we have for your hope and your fear, I would say that this is more of a fear and a block is the Seven of Swords, because here, this does indicate dishonesty. And this is the thing, Leo, I don't know, are you being dishonest? You may just be dealing with somebody who's dishonest. You know, it depends on, again, what the situation is. But not a good energy right now to try to get away with that, because this is a very hard energy to cover things up in. You know, it's just a very, anyway. Seven of Swords, dishonesty, immorality, running away from responsibility, running away from a situation, not being transparent in a situation, overstepping boundaries, being super selfish. And you really need your instincts and your wits to figure out the real truth of a situation, because I do feel like this situation is either going to be happening, either you're going to be the one that's dishonest or you're dealing with this and somebody else. This is an internal psychological block, though, for you right now. So you just want to pay attention to something here. Now, this is the thing. If you are the one being dishonest, don't be surprised if somebody plans to play you at your own game. If somebody else is being dishonest and you're on the receiving end of this, you may need to play somebody at their own game, just to find out what it is that you need to know. Okay? So if there's any sort of sneaky behavior going on here, having to do with any kind of relationship, even a situation in work, anything like that, it's a very psychological energy here. Okay? Now, we have, as the final outcome card, we have the Tower. So the Tower is a necessary surrender. This is about destruction and enlightenment. So if this has to do with a relationship, this is about that secret coming out to light, right? And it could be shocking, maybe not so much, but it's time to let go of past patterns of relating. It's just time to let that thing go. How you've been relating in that relationship, that intimate relationship, that work relationship, that family connection, whatever it is, it's time to let go of the way things were. This is a Mars energy. Mars gives us red flags, and if we ignore them, Mars comes in and just cleans house and says, nope, I threw you warnings, you didn't want to heed them, now I have to come in and I have to pull this all down. And that's it, pulling it down, because how things are going, having to do with whatever area this is resonating with you in, cannot continue the way it's been. It can't. It just can't. Now, for some of you, if this has to do with career or money, this can have to do with restructuring in a business, maybe a complete change in circumstances. This can also indicate a person in power, like a position of power, needs to make a tough decision. Someone in charge maybe needs to let go of their role, or will maybe be let go of their role. But either way, this just indicates an abrupt change to circumstances. This could also be maybe like a property that you hope to move into ends up not materializing, or something like that. But there is this big change that's going to be happening here for you. And the fact that it's Mars, and the fact that we have Mars and Leo in your energy, I just feel like that's very relevant to the fact that this energy is going to be in your first house. So let's just pull some clarifiers. Another major arcana of the moon. We have the Chariot reverse. Get these major arcanas. Oh my gosh, 4 major arcanas in a row, Leo. 5 major arcanas in a row. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Let's see what we have. Okay. So, clarifying this tower, this thing that needs to end, we have the moon energy. So if this has to do with a relationship, this indicates confusion and disappointment because you feel very let down by a situation. Somebody has disappointed you. You feel a lack of trust that a relationship can actually work out at the end of the day, and that leads you to making a decision about a relationship with that individual, whether it's in a intimate, family, work, friendship situation, whatever it is. If this is resonating more as like a career or money thing, you might achieve a goal, but you ultimately feel like it wasn't even worth it. Emotions run high. You might feel like you need to protect yourself from others' negativity. And even though like the money's there, like money's pretty stable, you're not feeling good about something. So you want to make sure that you address that, right? You just might be feeling like this general sense of disillusionment about where you're living right now, or having second thoughts about a move or some sort of home improvement project, that something maybe ends up being more costly than you originally thought it was. Also, the moon does indicate you might, if you misplace something, good energy to actually find something in. So I just want to give all the different interpretations now. But there is this idea of feeling very disappointed, disillusioned, right? And then we have the Chariot reverse. So this is a pretty profound energy, not going to lie, right? The Chariot reverse is very somebody being off the right path. Somebody listening to the wrong thing. This is arrogance and self-indulgence. This can manifest as a person just spiraling out of control, again, going off that right path. This can have to do with egotism and selfishness are indicated here. So a change in focus is very, very much needed. Very much needed. Okay? But it might be in response or reaction to some sort of disappointment that you're feeling. Then we have your energy as the center here, right? We have the Strength card. So there needs to be something balanced out, right? If your relationship's been tested, things can improve, but there needs to be some balance. It's got to be some balance. Somebody, I think, needs their ego stroked. Somebody needs to be made to feel better about something. If this has to do with career or money, like there's tensions because of somebody's ego. And what is the solution to this is empathy. Somebody with very strong opinions needs help calming down their ego so that their mind can open up. And you may need to play mediator in such a situation. Or you may need to take the high road. Or there could always be the chance that you are the one who actually needs your ego stroked and be made to feel better about a particular situation, depending on what's going on. But we have clarifying that something new happening, something good happening out of that. Because then we have Uranus. Uranus, again, is going to be happening in that 10th house for you. So that is that house of public reputation, standing in the world, right? How you engage with life in the realm of career, or just how people know you, right? But anyway, the Fool is all about a fresh path, a new perspective, and changing the way that you relate. So for some of you, this could indicate a new relationship, or a new start or approach in a current relationship, just doing things differently than before, right? So things being better. If this has to do with career or money, this is a new path, a new opportunity, or a new approach to a current situation. But there's new, right? There's this new kind of thing here. Some of you may be making the decision to leave your home as well. Fresh path, new perspective, just going. Then we have the Ace of Coins. This can indicate a new job. This is the Ace of Coins is very auspicious, right? For kind of every area of your life. This has to do with happiness and contentment. So this is getting what you want. Money coming to you, you being shown how to achieve what it is that you want in a way where there is a nice foundation of stability had. And whatever kind of luck you might be experiencing, even though a lot of people are going to be like, I'm having like lousy luck right now, I feel like you're not. I feel like, which is very interesting because a lot of people are talking a lot about these fixed signs and how the fixed signs are going to have their asses handed to them, right, when it comes to these particular back-to-back T-squares. And I'm not suggesting it's not going to be super difficult, but I just feel like the end result, Chiron, is just going to be very, very kind to you. I just feel like that right now. So we have, as these two outcome energies, we have the Six of Wands and then we have the Nine of Swords. So this is very interesting because the Six of Wands is very, very positive. Yeah, it's very positive. This is very positive communication. This is about a great energy if you've been struggling lately with a person, a situation, money, anything like that. And it's this idea of things getting better, you getting acknowledged for something. This is another acknowledgement energy. If this has to do with relationship, feelings are shared and they're well received. Everybody's ears are open. This has to do with positive communication coming in. So there can be a deepening of the connection. Right? I mean, just general good news kind of vibe here, having to do with whatever. Family thing, love thing, property thing, education thing, anything where you need like decision-making skills is good. But then we have that followed up by the Nine of Swords. So you're not sure at the end of the day, even though there's communication, Leo, I feel like when you lay down and you put your head on the pillow at night, you're still like, what the hell am I doing? And you're still experiencing some sort of anxiety and overwhelm and worry. Some of you might be struggling with depression. Some of you might be struggling with sleeping. Just generally not responding well to the external stresses that are being put upon you right now. Just because your way out of something really isn't clear. Your way out of something isn't clear. And then we have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is expect the unexpected. This is an unpredictable roller coaster energy ahead, highs and lows, sudden truths coming out, underlying conflicts being exposed. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a relief. For others of you, it's going to be confusing, depending on what your situation is. But wait for things to settle before you make a move. Okay? So, you know what? I'm actually going to leave this spread here because that is just the vibe of this flippin' week. It just is. There's going to be a lot of expect the unexpected with this Uranus square. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? And we're going to, with the Mars Uranus square too, we're going to just have our buttons pushed this week. But we feel that change is right there. Change is around the corner. We need to act despite the blockages, despite the difficulties, despite all of the nonsense that we feel like is in our way. You have to push through. Especially things that have come in this year, Leo. Especially things that have come in this year. Epiphanies about marriages, relationships, jobs, family situations. You want to make sure that you don't self-sabotage. Make sure you maintain a very balanced approach as you're going through something. Okay, so I hope that lent some clarity in some way. So now we're going to go into a 7-card eclipse, listen to me, ellipse reading for relationship, and this is just going to be for general relationships, and then I'll pull some cards at the end. I'm going to timestamp below for those of you who are in separation. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, these cards, these out of the way here. Okay, that is okay. Past, present, future, advice, external and others, hope and fear, and outcome. Okay, you still have fire in your belly for a situation that you're going through. Okay, the past, Nine of Swords in reverse. So, Nine of Swords in reverse is actually a lot better than in the upright because this is about healing and a sense of relief and a sense that something is it's almost like something came to a culmination and something needed to end. right? Within a situation, within that job, within that family situation, within that marriage, right? And then it's like, okay, that thing had to end. Let's work on the recovery of it. So, this could show up a lot of times as well if, you lost somebody to death who you care about, and you're in this space now of recovering and getting past the challenging endpoint. That situation that happened in the marriage, like that big blowout that needed to happen, something needed to happen and kind of come to this culmination. And so we like it in the reverse because there is this relief from the extreme pain, hurt, and suffering of a situation. Now we have that being clarified now here, though, within the present situation as the star reverse. So the star reverse means giving up too easily on something. So for some of you, this could be a project, a relationship, a situation, just kind of giving up too easily and just experiencing a huge block. Now you might be too attached to a fantasy of something, right, having to do with relationship, while overlooking the details of the situation, or you might be pulled into like a false sense of security in something that really has no foundation at the end of the day and little chance for success. And you may kind of know this intuitively, but you may not be totally sure how to actually get through it. Do you know what I mean? And just general feeling like you're not being supported right now is what I feel like. So there's some sort of situation that you guys are healing within relationship. Again, now it could be, obviously, if you're in a relationship and there was a death of a family member, of course it's going to impact your relationship. That would be ridiculous to not recognize that. But in the same way, it could just be you guys healing from something. Maybe you had a very challenging past and you guys were in this space of healing, but then we have the star where it's like, are you giving up too easily on something? Are you too attached to the fantasy of something while not being very realistic, right? And see where there might be you being pulled in relationship into this false sense of security, into something that really doesn't have much of a future, right? At the end of the day, you recognizing this. You know what I mean? So now we have the future. Love it. We have the Six of Wands, deserve success, nice energy, feelings being shared, well received, very nice deepening of a connection. And we have clarifying that, doing something differently. So for some of you, this is you meeting somebody brand new. For others of you, this is recognizing that something's got to be handled very differently than it's been. Got to be. Because this has to do with beginnings. This is a Uranus energy. Shake it up energy. Let's focus on the future, but we can't focus on the future without doing things very different than we have before. Whatever we did before, we cannot repeat that. Now, clarifying that, so this is what I feel like the conversation is going to be taking place, right? You have this great conversation. We're going to do things differently. This is how it's going to go. Okay. And then we have the world reverse. So the world reverse does indicate that you're ready to move on from something, Leo, but you feel blocked. Or you feel undeserving of success in this relationship. It's like you feel like, it's almost like you're underselling yourself in a relationship, in order to make something work. You just want to be very careful with that energy, right? Because for some of you, you may be holding on to a relationship because of time, because of history, because of convenience, because of money, because of many, many different things, right? But you may be holding on to something at the exclusion of maybe meeting an even healthier relationship for you. That's for some of you. Obviously, that's not going to be for all of you. Others of you might be holding on to something, a belief system that you have. And because of holding on so tight to that belief system, the healthy relationship is eluding you because it can't actually grow out of a belief system that needs updating. Because you have to remember the Saturn energy in Aquarius is in your 7th house. That 7th house of relationships. and you have all of this Mars and Venus energy in this first house of self. So you're going to be asked to update how you view relationship and how you view things. You're going to be asked to update this. A lot of you may be feeling like you've been going through this up to this point, you know, and it doesn't have to be so grandiose, right? You just want to see, where are you holding too tightly to something at the exclusion of maybe a healthy relationship or a new relationship altogether. Just know that even these challenges that you're experiencing right now, at the end of the day and in the big picture, are minor. It just may take some time to get what is coming to you. So you really need to keep the faith, because the world is still very positive, even in the reverse. Now we have the Chariot energy, and the Chariot energy is about fast, okay? It's fast, swift progress and change, being very determined and getting away from toxicity. So this is a relationship situation being expedited. So we always want to look at the cards surrounding, okay, when we have this energy. So let me just pull two. We have the Hangman. You're confused. You're trying to, Leo, you don't want to feel the way you feel in relationship, that's for sure, because the Hermit energy is Virgo. It's like you're really trying to figure out, you're recognizing that maybe the relationship needs more time and more, say, the recognition that the relationship needs more energy put into it, right? But you're in this space where you're wondering if it is even what it is that you want. You know, some of you, if you are not in contact with this person right now, you're in the space of trying to recognize particular cycles that you experience within relationships, but you're very sort of confused right now, right? Hangman is Neptune. It's pressing the pause button to get a different perspective, wondering if the person that you're in a relationship feels the same way. Do they actually want the same thing at the end of the day? Are they on board with you? You really can't tell. And the thing is, you're not very open right now to lip service. And I feel like a lot of you have been through a lot, and so you really kind of just don't believe anybody right now when it comes to relationship. And I know that sounds very harsh, but it's almost a way of you protecting yourself, right? Because when we have Neptune energy, Neptune is also about questioning whether if we're going to make this work, this is you saying it to yourself, if I make this work, am I going to have to martyr what it is that I really want? Am I going to have to sacrifice what I really want in order for this to work? In order for me to just stay in this relationship? And this is you going to the top of the mountain and saying, I'm not sure, right? So we have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is focusing on the responsibilities of the relationship in a very diligent and hardworking way. It really is. There's this need for a very deliberate approach. And I feel like if you can do that, you're moving away from toxicity towards a more positive space. But God, are you tired, Leo? You're just so tired. Nine of Wands, you're exhausted. You're in a strong position, but you're very tired. You fought very long and hard in this situation, and you're very tired, but you're going to have the perseverance to see it through. This energy of the lack of energy, the exhaustion, the feeling defensive and all of that, most likely you're feeling it now. But make sure you don't keep yourself in that space. You don't want to stay in any sort of negative mindset. You may need to be there right now. You may need to be there right now to defend yourself or to do anything like that. Your efforts are going to be met with success, but you have to maintain balance. Because remember, what comes after Nine of Wands is Ten of Wands, and we don't want that, right? So that's what I'm seeing here. Let me just pull a clarifier on that, right? So we have the Tower reversed, and then we have the Knight of Swords. So, yes, listen. I feel like you're going to be very focused on, damn it, I want to be happy. I don't want to be around the toxicity. I don't want to feel like I need to sacrifice myself. I don't want to do that. I feel that very, very strongly. Here we have the Tower energy here, right? So you might find yourself taking responsibility for something within the relationship, even though you're not really ultimately to blame. 100% at least, right? This can also indicate that you're holding on to this relationship that's just simply not strong enough to stand the test of time, right? And if you're clinging to the past to protect yourself from that reality, your fears are probably going to materialize, right? And the collapse is inevitable. But don't feel responsible for forces outside of your control. You can't control somebody else's stuff. You just can't. Like, the impact might feel sudden and dramatic, but you're at least going to know where it is that you stand, at least. And clarifying that, we have this idea of somebody is just simply not being honest with you, Leo. This is dishonesty. Immoral, running away from what's necessary to show up in a relationship. That would be to have a job, to communicate, to show affection, to show intimacy, right? This could indicate somebody just overstepping their boundaries or being very selfish. And you're really going to need your wits about you to really understand what's going on here. It does seem to me. Right, because you're just very focused on happiness and getting the hell out of Dodge. I have this very just breaking free energy. I mean, more than for the 5 signs that I did before you. You're just really wanting to manifest what it is your happiness, what it is that you're wishing. This could also indicate new romance. Just feeling more connected to your own heart. This is a time for growth. You're just ready to let old tensions dissolve into the waters from the past and just kind of press a reset button in your life, for goodness sake. Yeah. Page of Swords. Guys, you might be meeting somebody new. I mean, this is like somebody reaching out to you in a way that's going to be very, very helpful to you. Swords of communication. Page indicates a new cycle. This is a personification of air. So you might be meeting somebody online. But some sort of new information is coming into you that's going to be helpful to you. All right, so that's what I have for you having to do with that. Let me just quickly pull. These readings are so long. I'm sorry. You know, say the messages. I can't cut myself off. So these are this is an in separation deck. Okay, so let's pull a few cards from this and then from Island Time Wellness. For those of you in separation, maybe looking for some additional guidance, because it's always a difficult situation to be in. Okay. Remember, the energies could always be vice versa. So first off, we have, I love you, but I'm afraid to reach out and have you reject me. And that's being clarified by outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Outdated thinking, that kind of does have to do with the Saturn in the 7th house for you guys as well. Interesting. Our love was too intense for me to handle. I needed to break away. Not showing true feelings, hiding, personifying, pretending, deluding, gaslighting. Well, that sounds like a line of bullshit if I ever heard it, Leo. Sorry. Our love was too intense for me to handle, so I needed to break away instead of speaking to you. And then the reality is they're not even showing their true feelings. They're pretending. They're gaslighting. This is somebody who has ulterior motives for the relationship. Maybe it's money, maybe it's security, maybe it's something else. It's always been you. I don't know how to tell you the truth. I want a new beginning. It's always been you. I don't know how to tell you the truth. I want a new beginning. Then we have sunglasses, watching. Oh, somebody's stalking you, Leo. Gaslighting, perception, focusing out. We have 2 gaslighting energies here. You know what gaslighting is? It's like, I never said that, Leo. What do you mean? You said that. No, that wasn't me. That was you. It's like, what? Okay. It's always been you. I don't know how to tell you the truth. I want a new beginning. I don't know. Leo, you know what? You do whatever you feel is right. I want to tell you, though, these 2 energies, I don't trust you. I do believe that they're afraid of something. And I'm not saying that they're actually a narcissist. I don't like to diagnose, but it does seem like there are some tendencies here where they may be saying something, and maybe they believe their own stuff, you know, at the end of the day. They might not be very self-aware, but it does seem like they're stalking you. They're not showing their true feelings. They're using a lot of excuses to just behave poorly. And at the end of the day, you're really not going to have any patience with that. You're going to be like, oh, bullshit meter off the charts. Okay, goodbye. You know, that kind of thing. If they want to show up with more more integrity and in a more authentic way, of course you're going to sit and listen to them, right? You're Leo. You're very accepting like that. But your bullshit meter is going to be just amped up right now. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Have an awesome week. Remember to breathe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.